adjust anything, we should be good. Anyways, as you can see right here in just a second, there we go. We are currently still trying to get this game started. Apparently there was some more technical issues, so it's almost like it kind of worked out anyways, right? Like, really didn't miss anything in the end. So there's the positive. I'm joined by Z-Rock once again here on Break CPK. All right, are we actually starting, you think?
I believe we are, but not before Envy had to make a snarky tweet about how DileCom lied for the remake. So.
Oh, gosh.
Uh-huh.
Well.
Anyway, so we had a bit of audio issues on the stream. Hopefully those are resolved now. And then at the same time, DileCom had a PC issue, so they swapped that out quick. But it looks like we are live with a quick TP out from Rose and from, I'm not going to call him Red J.
Huh, Red J, yeah. Ugh. I don't know their actual, so who would that be?
That's Jericho.
Jericho, okay. So he's the one playing the Earth Spirit, so we're talking about that. And looking forward to seeing how he does on the Earth Spirit here. For DileCom.
Yeah, definitely. This should be a very, very good game. I think both drafts are more focused towards the early game and very, very aggressive. So the biggest thing for DileCom is going to be item timings. Like, NP can fight without them because you have Slight Chains, you have Lesh Stun, Disruption, you have some things that let you get into a fight before you get items up. It's very hard to take a fight if you're DileCom without the Blink on Sand King or the Blink on Puck.
30 seconds to battle.
Going to be wanting to get that ASAP. Speaking of, so the Blink on Puck, I mean, Puck's kind of an interesting hero. You know, something like a Veil of Discord early on, or even, I guess, or Yule Scepter, something like that. But do you think a Blink Dagger this game makes sense? You just want to see him get it ASAP?
I mean, I think they have to go Veil. I think it kind of depends a little bit on the SK. If he has this miserably insufferable lane, then maybe Puck will look to go Blink first, just because the SK is not going to get to his at any reasonable time. But Veil is so enabling for your team. Like, everyone you have does so much magic damage that you almost need it.
Yeah. Yeah, so another thing to kind of talk about this matchup, too, real quickly is, obviously, we mentioned DileCom playing at the WESG, so they have some 7.0 experience, some actual tournament experience, as we got a classic pause here once again. But we're NP again. This was actually their first tournament that they're going to be participating in, and obviously they played yesterday, but there's only 2 games against DC. Not to say they haven't been practicing in general, but you also got to wonder how that's going to work for some teams right here. As far as their lack of experience so far, and apparently, we do get some more DCs coming out. Ben Q's, this is too much. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's the admin just dropping the hammer.
You have 2 minutes or else. I wonder what that means.
Which, I mean, I can understand. There's supposed to be 2 more best of 3s today, or best of 2s today.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 more. There's still a few more of those, and then you're going to roll into the SEA qualifiers, I believe.
I'm not, but well, actually, no. Actually, no. Those actually finished up. So those finished up literally this morning or late last night, going into this morning. It was TNC Pro Team actually did end up advancing on as they beat Faceless. Now it was
That's just on a tear lately.
Yeah, well, it came down to the final day. Faceless actually had 3 2-game series today. They lost to Execration though in one of their games, and that actually did it in. So TNC was able to advance on. So they're the Southeast Asian team.
Yeah, it's a lot of games to play that many in a day. It gets extremely tiring.
Well, they tried, and they came up short, unfortunately. So, but yeah, TNC obviously very worthy of it. Of course, they were the WESG champions, as we're talking about, and a lot of talk about that tournament because it's fun to see these LAN events, especially, and they had a unique format. But at the same time, it's hard to really take too much from a tournament like that. It wasn't necessarily all like the top tier teams like some of these other ones.
Well, you essentially gated out most of the best teams with the way it was set up. But either way, coming in here, Eternal Envy with the 4-man shield. Should be able to do pretty well against Leo Style for the first few levels here.
And then Puck versus the Ember Spirit in the middle lane. So, yeah, I got that last hit and denies tab out. So, Puck versus Ember Spirit. He does have support from Earth Spirit actually nearby. And we'll see if that could cause some issue for Eternal Envy right here. But straight up, I mean, do you think it goes either way, or is it really just
I think it's slightly Puck leaning just because at pretty much all stages of the lane you can strip off flame guard. So you should never die if you're Puck. And just the fact that you're ranged and can poke at him a little bit with right click should give you a slight edge to it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a commanding win by any means.
Radiant's middle tower is under
attack. We got Leshrac up here in the off lane. Okay, wow. So I'm sorry, I was so distracted by everything that's going on, setup and everything, but So we have a Leshrac off lane, and it is going to be a jungle Axe right here.
Yeah, what it really came down to, they thought the Shadow Demon could pretty much solo zone the Sand King, and so they just sent Axe to jungle, and they're just basically telling Theban or Rose, try to not die. Just get half a level, get something out of the off lane, because no one's going to be there.
Just don't die, damn it. Yeah, that's tough, though. I mean, he's going up against a tri lane, essentially. You have Earth Spirit and Rubik. Very high potential for getting caught here. It's not like Leshrac has a safe escape by any means, so that's a very difficult task for Rose, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think your big thing is just the fact that a Windlace Leshrac outmove speeds pretty much every hero in the game. So he's just looking to maybe take a bounty rune from them or grab a wave if they accidentally mess up the equilibrium and push it. He's not looking to get a ton done in this game, at least for the beginning. Envy getting gone on hard, though.
Yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble. With Illusory Orb in 4 seconds, he's going to be fine unless this Illusory Orb somehow hits, but yeah, it's not going to, so toss himself. And he good, but great harassment from Puck, though. You do see Shadow Demon SVG making his way over and maybe going to assist here against Leo Style. Semper Spirit's finding himself in a little bit of trouble. Meanwhile, at the top secret shop over here, we have double damage Earth Spirit kind of poking around. Not going to find much, though. So Rose is halfway to level 2. He's almost there.
Yeah, and he's going to leech part of this off of MSS here. He did double stack this up for him. So nice little boon of early game experience. The Sentry Ward placed by DileCom here, though, was actually pinged out by Rose immediately. I'm surprised it never did get dewarded.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, of course, being the block and everything, but not taking care of it, at least for the time being. Top lane, though, Rose going in. He does have backup. Axe as well as Shadow Demon nearby. Z-Talk, he's going to get caught by the splitters. Not the easiest stun to land without any setup, but he lands it right there. Disruption comes out. We're going to see Berserker's Call, and that should be the first blood, baby. There we go. SVG actually taking credit for it on the Rubik. So good rotation, safe to say.
Great weight there from SVG to not disrupt right away. Rubik Lift is a really fast cast point, and if Axe doesn't hit that call right away, he could have just gotten lifted out. But SVG held the disruption up until that lift basically got cast, and very easy first blood. So.
Aoi 2000, meanwhile, taking some pressure. Sand King realizing, okay, the supports are top. Let's go ahead and harass this Ursa a bit, knowing that they're not down here, of course. And actually, Rubik even comes down here. So how about this decision by DileCom? They want to go aggressive all of a sudden. Make sense to you?
I mean, it's something a lot of teams have started doing. If anybody watched any League of Legends or anything, it's a lane swap. It's a very common way to put pressure on the off lane.
How dare you speak that word here?
I know, right? Terrible.
By the way, they caught Puck at the shrine.
Essentially what it boils down to is the fact that Radiant used TPs to go top. So then they don't have TPs to go bottom. So if you snap rotate a bunch of heroes bottom right away, you can get a bunch of free pressure either on the tower or on the safe lane carry.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ursa, gonna slam the ground, showing that he's pissed off, but obviously Sand King will be able to burrow strike through and survive any chance of dying right there. SVG, meanwhile, gonna snipe the illusion room in front of
SVG's putting in work.
Yeah, he's doing some good work right here and managing to box out the Earth Spirit. Disruptor, like I said, Disruptor's kind of an interesting hero because he felt like he was dying off there. You know, this quote-unquote illusion meta maybe starting to fade out somewhat, but in this case, they don't have a Luna, a Terrorblade, yet he's still picked up and still able to do work. And Sand King, disruption, yeah, I mean, doesn't even need it actually. Rose, Diabolic Edict, easily finishes the job right there.
Yeah, it seems like every time SD starts to fade, people start picking him again and maxing a different skill. When he was first super big, everyone maxed Shadow Poison, cleared some stacks with him, got a bunch of gold, did well with that. Then the illusion meta came where you went like 4-4-0 and just had these huge illusions. Now everyone's like, hey, Soul Catcher is a really good skill. Let's max that first.
Yeah.
So, just a really strong hero with his overall kit. Real rooted under tower.
Yeah, Puck is going to take some good damage right there from the tower. He doesn't have his phase shift yet, so he's not able to prevent any of that tower damage, and actually could be in some more trouble. SVG putting down the ward. He's going for the kill, but at what cost right here? The Illusory Orb goes through. Not enough damage, though. He's put under by the Disruptor, but he did actually port with the Illusory Orb, and manages to escape. I thought he was going to get caught right there for sure.
I think he was looking for the kill on Envy. He hoped Envy was just going to back up, assuming you wouldn't port to that orb, and then just sneak the last hit in real quick.
Smart attempt. We're not done just yet. Barrel roll in. Rose now in the one in trouble. You do see Shadow Demon doing what he can, but that ain't much at that point. So Leshrac will fall. Maybe going to turn kill onto Red J, but ain't going to happen either. And that'll be the end of that. So the first kill, though, for DileCom. Got to feel good to get on the board at least.
Yeah, you definitely need something early game. The Jug, though, has actually been farming pretty well with that early game pressure he had on him. Top of the CS, still looking to go for that really early Helmet Dom. And just try to pressure the lane out a little bit.
Okay, Z-Rock, Helm of the Dominator. This has been such a... This was one of the hotter topic items. Oh, bottom lane. How about that? Okay. Well, Sandkin goes down to her side. I don't know if you caught that, but...
Yeah, I saw the very end of it. I mean, Orb of Venom and Phase Boots is all it really is.
Okay. Not much more you can do against that. Oh, well, I'll get to that point in a second because we have more action right here. Z-Talk trying to make his escape. A couple TPs coming in. They need to be careful not to dive too much right here. The Berserker's call going to whiff right there. Shadow Demon, he put his own teammate under. I don't know if that was a misclick or what, but now Shadow Demon's in trouble. And SPG will fall. You see Rose, meanwhile, keeping his distance and going to run it out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shadow Demon meant to disrupt Rubik right there. And he accidentally hit Leshrac.
Yeah, not really the best disruption we've seen yet today, but I'm sure he'll bring it back.
Helm of the
Envy, though, diving in.
Oh, yeah. Leo style split earth. It's so hard to land without a setup again, but he lands it again, and the Dream Coil comes out. Not going to matter. Enough damage for the kill, so a big one at that. Yet again, that's a second death now in Puck. Right
Yeah, this is exactly what NP wants, though. They're rotating around really aggressively with the Shadow Demon and the Leshrac, getting Leshrac through his weaker point in the game pretty smoothly. He's level 4 already at 7 minutes, and looking to go in early drums. He's definitely going to be a huge impact in this game.
Yeah. So Helm of the Dominator, going to be picked up by Juggernaut, pretty much routine. You know, there's even Luna where with the change, people are like, oh, we're probably not going to see it on her anymore. No, it's still basically the core go-to item on her. I feel like a lot of cores even are picking it up overall, where there was this talk of like, okay, we're going to see it on supports now because of how the item works. But is it surprising to you that we actually just see it on cores now instead of maybe others?
I mean, what it kind of comes down to is we're seeing on whoever can get it first. Like, we're seeing a lot of Ursa's, Luna's, Juggernauts, pretty much anyone, because that flat 1400 HP it gives a creep is so insane for pushing in the early game. It's so hard to bring down. And when you couple that with abilities like the Satyr Purge is probably the most notable broken one that people have been picking up.
Yeah.
It's just so scary when you get ran at by a 1400 HP creep with Purge.
It's pretty damn ridiculous. So, bottom lane. Stun through onto Ursa. Using that, gonna barrel roll in actually, trying to connect, and they do catch Shadow Demon. And that will secure a kill. He's like, all right, fight me, bros. He will get caught and eventually gets picked up. Aoi 2000, though, he's still being chased on. Dream Coil did catch him initially, but Leo style, he wants Leshrac. I don't know, he realized he caught Ursa as well. Lucifer Europe gonna whiff right there, and Leshrac will be able to TP away. But now that stun combo onto Ursa, he pops his ultimate though with the enrage. He is pissed off, but the kite is real. And Aoi 2000 trying to make some kind of an escape. Ain't gonna happen though. No TP's coming in. Leo style, he's a little bit careful to the tower, but he will survive, and the dive is successful for Team DileCom there.
Yeah, I mean, they traded a tower for 2 heroes off there. Good choice to commit some extra abilities and extra heroes, or they wouldn't have gotten that Ursa. The Enrage was perfectly timed. He stopped the Burrow Strike damage from coming in, the initial orb from Puck, but just not quite enough. He doesn't have the items he needs yet. He's very close to his Blink Dagger.
Axe, Vanguard first. Does that make sense
Yeah,
to you,
I saw that.
over the rush the Blink Dagger or anything?
I think if you didn't have an Ember Spirit, you'd almost have to rush the Blink Dagger, but in this kind of a game, the Ember's going to give you all the setup you need for the early game. So he can go Vanguard, run his way into a few more aggressive fights, more precarious positions, and come out okay.
Yeah. Top lane, we may see some action. Earth Spirit, he's setting up. TP coming in. Omni Slash is good to go. He's going to be put under, but now Shadow Demon realizing that this is a mistake. The silence coming from Earth Spirit, but the Berserker's call keeping Juggernaut in place despite the spin. Shadow Demon kiting. Soul Catcher is applied. He's trying to put some poison out too. Maybe get this kill onto Van. Ain't going to be enough though. Omni Slash finally used, and down he goes. MSS has his Culling Blade, but cannot get close enough. And now Rubik's running in. Axe all of a sudden the one in a lot of trouble. Fade Bolt going to be used. Earth Spirit. Okay, well, never mind. Axe is just fine. I guess Vanguard makes him just too damn tanky to be able to kill
that's
right
exactly
there.
what he gets to do with the Vanguard. He was able to call the Juggernaut spin without any real concern for his life. And this is what happens when you have a Lesh level 5 this early. If this tower gets any time for Lesh to sit on it, it's going to fall over. It's about an edict and a half to clear a full HP tower at this point.
An edict and a half. That sounds fun. Yeah, he's level 3 right here with that Diabolic Edict. Very, very good for that tower. Push, as mentioned. He's going to get the bounty rune, though. They are pinging now at that top tower, so perhaps that is going to be a decision to be had here.
Juggernaut's Dom is up now, though, so a little hard to fight into. This item is just so insane.
It is.
Like 8 health regen, bonus attack speed to your whole team, some good all stats, not to mention the creep you get.
Yeah.
You take the creep out of that and cut it off a couple hundred gold, I still think we'd see it being picked up occasionally. But
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
It's just so insanely good right now.
Let me ask you this now. Well, this isn't really loud, but I saw a lineup the other day where there was two. It was like a Razor as well as a Juggernaut. Both of them got Helm of the Dominator. Do you think 2 Helm of the Dominators could be potentially good too? Or is that overkill?
It all depends on how early you want your power spike. If your goal is to clear all the T2s by like 20 minutes, sure. Absolutely, having the second creep matters there. You can get something like an Alpha Wolf to help you push and then a Purge creep. Or, I know BSJ's biggest favorite creep ever is that Cobalt Geomancer, the movement speed creep.
Yeah.
Like, he'll go clear small camps to look for that creep. So,
Oh, top lane, we have initiation though, and Rage's pop by Ursa's going to be fine for the time being. Leo's not coming in. Drinkle hits a couple. Leshrac, one of those. Diabolic Edict though, it's not going to be off cooldown for a couple more seconds. Meanwhile, SPG in the background goes down. The epicenter goes off, and down goes Leshrac. And now Ember Spirit joins the party though as he comes in with his remnants. But at what cost for him? He's in trouble all of a sudden as the Boulder Smash goes through, hits on Ursa. Down goes Ember Spirit, and down goes Ursa. MSS just got there simply a little too late. By the time he is full life, full mana, everyone on his team is dead. What a fight for DileCom.
yeah, that was some weird miscommunication there. Like, the Ursa Blue was enraged on the initial initiation on him, so he came out of that okay, and he started backing up immediately, and then Envy just shotgunned everything into that.
Yeah.
He didn't do enough damage to clear it. I don't think they expected the steal on Edict from Zthok, because that Diabolic Edict just destroyed them in that team fight.
Oh, that's what he stole? Oh, that makes sense then. Yeah, that allowed Ruby to do plenty of damage throughout it. You see at the top lane, though, they don't want to give up this tower for ease, or with ease even. Now he has his Blink Dagger, but going to miss the initial Earth Shock, and they will make their escape. So got the Blink Dagger ASAP. You see Axe is now attempting to work on his. Obviously, he did with the Tranquil and the Vanguard before that, as we mentioned.
Middle tower is under attack.
He's extremely tanky, and he just needs to close up on that Blink before they look for too many fights, but SVG, unfortunately, the sacrificial lamb of this team.
Well, he got
Poor
the ward
guy.
down, I guess. So that's
get the word down.
positive. Maybe counter, though, unfortunately. We'll see. Puck. Okay, Puck with the hand of Midas first, but and actually he's going for a kill in Rose, and he'll get it. Yeah, he came down here, Dream Coil, and Leshrac just had to kind of run around the chicken with his head cut off there.
That is such a greedy Midas pickup from him.
It's working.
Maybe. Yes.
I mean, they're winning now. That's when it works, right?
Yeah. I mean, they are winning right now. Envy, though, did pick up the Veil, and you have the Blink on Ursa now, so I think it's up to NP to pick better fights at this point. You have more of the tools that you need. SK's still 1,000 off of his Blink, so they're going to be a little while. But the ward coverage here from DileCom is just insane. 3 wards standing all in very good positions, and it's proving to be this huge problem when NP's trying to rotate.
Yeah, I got their vision up right now. They definitely got a good side of that Radiant jungle and the side of the map in general really covered right here. So good to see for the side of DileCom, of course. And meanwhile, you got Puck now porting back to the middle lane. You were talking about the idea of the Veil, but the way he's saving up, it looks like that Blink Dagger is going to be rushed here. I mean, obviously he went the Hand of Midas first. Would you still like to see the Veil?
I think I would, just because there aren't really BKB buyers on NP for a while. Like, Ursa will eventually get one, Axe could maybe get one 5th item, but until those BKBs actually come online, or a pipe, then you need that extra magic damage. It does so much work.
Ember, Eternal Envy. Ooh, that was close right there. The combo from Earth Spirit almost connected, but he had the Remnant poured out, and he'll
Look at
survive.
Zthok's positioning here. He was hiding behind, like, between the T1 and T2.
Yeah. He's being a little crafty. He has that Diabolic Edict. Going to sell them out, actually. That's a free tower push. It's almost like Leshrac is hurting them rather than helping them because he's still in that Diabolic Edict. And
That
using it
definitely
against them a
hurts.
couple fights here. That's unfortunate. Okay, he's not actually. He's going bots, man. This is the full greed build. Midas and a
Okay,
bots.
so if you want to go this route, that's okay. Your Earth Spirit's not doing terribly. He's got a Urn of Shadows already and some Tranquil Boots. He could look to go a Veil here. Your SK could look to go in after Blink as well. You have a few people that could buy it here, but I definitely think someone wants to pick it up on this team.
I'll see if anyone eventually does. Obviously, Ember Spirit has it for his own
Dire's
team here at
middle
the
tower is under attack.
Villa Discord. Ursa, they're smoked up. They're roaming towards the bottom. Eternal Envy, the only one down here as this team makes his way over. Potentially setting up for some kind of big fight. The Shrine is ready to use, so you got to be careful if you're NP not to fight at that Shrine area. They are running it. Oh, and another smoke from DileCom here. Ooh. Were they seen doing that? I mean, they do have they just placed a ward.
No,
I
I don't believe they were actually seen from it, but they have to notice something's up.
Yeah.
Both of their lanes are pushing, and DileCom's not reacting to it.
Here we go. Van, he's charging in, barrel rolling, misses the combination, got the sides off with Shadow Demon Disruption, puts him under. Meanwhile, the turn kill on a Juggernaut. Earth Spirit's gonna fall. The turn is real, baby. For Team NP, that's a 3 for nothing, make it a 4 for nothing. And just as it was for DileCom earlier, this time it's NP's turn, and they're gonna absolutely wipe DileCom. A double kill for Howie 2000. 4 of them don't even have
DileCom was
buybacks.
not expecting the blink on Axe. That was his blink reveal, which is why they smoked up. He just picked that item up, and wow, did that pay off for them. 2 kills to start that fight off before DileCom could even react.
Yeah. Wow, that's a 5 for nothing right there, and that means that one team that got it is probably at a pretty good spot, as they most certainly are. Let's take a look at that graph. Yeah, look at the jump back up, over 2,000 net worth now, and just over 4,000 experience. So, well, they're pointing to the bottom lane. They're going to try to catch them right here. Sand King has the blink. The Boulder Smash going to miss, and that will be the end of it.
Yeah, and they're showing off the SK blink now here too, so NP will be aware that that is now in play, and have to play accordingly. The Jug's quick buy is interesting here. It looks like he's going to go for an S and Y as opposed to the Manta we usually see.
Huh.
Very odd item choice. I mean, it makes him fight a little bit better early. It's more of a run at you item than a Manta is, but it stops him from getting out of stuff like Earth Shock or dodging a Split Earth. There's a few different uses for it.
Yeah. Oh, Earth Spirit going to get caught by that Split Earth. Edict going to take him down a little bit, but that barrel roll, of course, will allow him to get away. Although Revenant, oh, you got to be careful, though. Eternal Envy into the Shrine, and he's going to be turned. That's not what you want.
That was so throwy. You had vision up there. You saw 4 heroes.
Yeah, he was tunnel vision, I think it's safe to say. He saw the one hero. He didn't see the others.
SVG definitely going to be a casualty here, too, but they were making space for Owies. He does pick up the Roshan.
Okay, yeah, there's that, but down goes SVG as mentioned, and that's 2 free kills, really, for DileCom that they'll gladly accept. So, I feel like the Ursa ages, so it's like inevitable, right? Like, it's going to happen, so is that really that big of a deal?
Top tower.
Well, what you kind of do with it, though, is if you're DileCom, you have a very great team to fight around the Rosh Pit. Between Dream Coil and Epicenter and all the Earth Spirit shenanigans, there's so much damage you can put out into a circle that if you have good vision and you're in position to defend it, he can never really take it without risking his whole team.
Yeah. Has been denied.
Denies that top tower up there. I like this pickup, by the way, the drums coming out for Leshrac. I always, especially with the meta right now, it feels like it's just so much action with the shrines and the movement and everything. An item like drums, I almost feel like it's somewhat underused. I feel like we don't see it too often, despite a lot of
The problem is, it just, for most heroes, it costs too much for what it gives. You're spending a lot of money on something that is essentially just like a bad ultimate orb for the most part.
Yeah.
But Leshrac really utilizes movement speed better than most heroes in just setting up Split Earths and moving around with Edict and Pulse Nova on without dying. Most of his damage he doesn't need to press buttons to do. And so getting that extra movement speed and that burst you can get from drums really can be the difference maker in a team fight, which is why he's been the one staple that we've seen pick it up over and over.
Ursa, the Desolator has been finished, and now, okay, he was looking at a Basher, but swapping it up to a BKB, which definitely would be strong here against Team DileCom. A little uncertain, perhaps. Well, yeah, the first out of Desolator to follow up the Blink.
Dire's middle tower.
Yeah, it's an Owie special. He's done this a few different games. He loves Desolator early on Ursa because all of your Fury Swipes damage is physical. So the Deso really just ramps that up to being a disgusting amount. He's looking to extend his one-shot potential, where he can just press W, blink on someone, and kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of potential for it. Juggernaut does have the Alpha Wolf nearby, of course, with the Helmet of the Dominator, or the Hotted. Sounds a lot better with the Helmet of the Dominator. Middle lane push. They're going to try maybe. But Earth Spirit on the uphill. He's ready to collapse in if need be. Over here we see the Shrine area. Ursa kind of keeping them busy. He has the Aegis, of course, so almost trying to bait them out, but not going to fall for it. And instead, we see a fallback here.
NP's in a position where they can just start running at them. They've got all their core items, they have the base of what they want, and this is where you can just start applying pressure and make moves on DileCom. The only thing you have to be aware of is you can't get like 3-man burrowed, or you could die, but as long as they take fights safely, just put Owie in front with that Aegis, they should be free to sweep up most of these T2s.
Yeah. Oh, bottom lane. Now, Ember Spirit not here. Just, okay, he is going to pour it in. Here we go. Fan. Oh, Fan just melts right there. Puck. Gonna use the face shield, full survive for a little bit long. There's a counter strike with the epicenter. That wasn't enough damage for the kills. Arsa gonna survive. Barely goes down, but he has the Aegis. The turn in favor of NP. Definitely working out for them. Down goes Sand King. And Puck, the sole survivor, some way, somehow got away. Actually gets the kill onto Leshrac as well before he ultimately runs away right here. But man, yeah, that's exactly what you're saying, Z-Rock. That Desolator. Juggernaut died in what seemed like 2 or 3 hits, like half a second.
Yeah, just a disgusting amount of damage output with that early Deso. And the BKB is just looking to make sure he can get those 6 hits off without getting CC'd. So there's no BKB piercing disable right now on DileCom.
Oh my god, that was a thing of beauty. Why don't we see that more often? I feel like that's something we should see actually more. Just how fast he actually did get the kill, but in the background though, Puck is still low. He went for the kill. And it's going to come at a cost for his life, most likely. Earth Spirit goes down. There's the Sleight of Fist, and actually secures the kill. But now, Eternal Envy, he's going to try to make his way out. Disruption, putting him under. There's a Remnant use, and he'll be fine. Shadow Demon, not so lucky, but hey, he's once again the sacrificial lamb, or maybe not. Howie 2000 coming back in a range pop, and this is turn, baby. MSS is here as well. The spin's coming out. They got the one, the dunk right there for the second on Van. And now Z-Talk Rubik, he's wishing that they did not do this. He's like, oh, somebody save me. Ain't going to happen.
This team is just so punishing when they're ahead. If they don't have to use disruption super defensively, if Axe can just say we're going and jump on someone, they just clear out DileCom so fast.
Yeah. I just put up the recap. Yeah, I guess technically that was a 5-man cleanup there by NP.
Well, and with the Leshrac on your team, you get the T3 out of this.
22 minutes in.
It's so insane. This hero, if you can get through his first 10 minutes, is so insanely filthy.
Yeah, and you know what? You got. I think it's all. Swin of Melons was the one that invented this for complexity. And everyone's following suit. People are gonna have fun with that one.
There?
Yeah, just a little bit. All right, it's a showing. It's a showing.
Yeah.
All right, no. But yeah, it's. I mean, to be fair, they are one of the teams that have been using it routinely, and several more kind of popping up with it now. So.
No, definitely. I think it's showing its strength here, and with the way the game's being played lately, where it's so objective-oriented, where you just kind of 5-man up and run at people in the early game. Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah, hold on. No, never mind. We're done. Hold on one quick sec.
I mean, in this game, Z-Talk should probably never get to his Blink Dagger. I don't think SK is going to see more than one more item. It's insanely hard for DileCom to come back from this position.
Yeah. This is an upward battle now. I don't want to sound negative for NP by any means because they're looking very impressive, but is it fair to say that they have history of getting ahead early on and then maybe not necessarily finishing games as well as they
I don't
should?
know about this far ahead and then not being able to finish. DileCom's lineup, as I said, being that single core lineup, doesn't really have great potential to come back from these kind of situations. No matter how long this game goes, no matter how long you stall this out, your rack's down already at 20 minutes, and it's going to be extremely hard for you to find traction.
Yeah.
NP's lineup, while it doesn't have the best building hitters, it has that Leshrac, and that's really all you need. You can basically guarantee that you're going to clean up objectives after a one-team fight.
Yeah. God, the BKB now on Ursa, he's not only killing people so quickly, but now you can't even do anything about it. You just have to wait 10 seconds, try to kite him the best you can.
Well, and your 4-row Lesh has Drum's Pipe at 24 minutes.
Wow, yeah.
Like, he's huge. Everybody on this team just has so much gold right now, and every bit of gold is going into defensive items so they can keep pressuring like this.
Well, they are good. They are good. NP is on the verge of trying to even finish the game early on. And they're going to push the secondary tower now here in the middle lane to assist with that. So that is now all outer towers. Obviously, Shrine's now vulnerable. And here we go. Right to the Shrine. Always good to see teams do this, you know. I feel like some even still kind of forget. It's like, oh, that's right. We can kill the Shrines. But NP, now they're aware.
Well, there is a little bit of hidden synergy, by the way, in Aui's Desolator in the fact that it also amplifies Diabolic Edict. So when they do decide to go for towers, it is doing extra damage to the buildings. And at this point, they could look just to walk uphill again. There's no real way for DileCom to fight them. As I said, barring like a 3-man Burrow Strike with an Epicenter behind it. I think in reality, Leo's getting super punished for this build.
Yeah.
If he had a Veil, their chance of turning these fights around would be so much better. They almost picked Envy at the start of that 5-0 last fight. And had they been able to kill him with the Veil and just added that little bit of burst, that fight could have gone entirely differently.
There was hope for DileCom, and again, this is a 2-game series, so obviously, again, this one's not over yet, but this being the first one of this 2-game series. So we'll see DileCom and how they maybe can respond in the second game, depending how this one finishes, but, oh, Earth Spirit trying to make a play on a Shadow Demon right there, unfortunately, swing and a miss, and they'll just have to run away from it. Juggernaut, like, keeping an eye on him. I mean, it's still, again, progressing here somewhat. He does actually eventually finish the Manta style, so he has another 2,300 gold saved up. Again, there was that hint that maybe he was looking to go full Saint Inyasha, but Decides it's better to do the Manta, just ultimately too strong. Hindsight, you look at Puck, you mentioned the Hannah Midas and then the boss to follow, the very greedy build. Is there a little bit that's like, okay, maybe that was maybe too greedy, or really was it out of control from that? I mean, that wasn't really the reason here.
I think that was entirely one of the main reasons they're losing these team fights. Some of these fights have been extremely close, and they just didn't quite have the damage to close out on them. And if they had the Veil, that could change entirely.
Well, NP just going to keep cleaning things up here. And as far as their own jungles go, get some more farm. You got the Blade Mail and Axe, the BKB now. Ember Spirit, of course, the Veil. I've seen a couple of... The whole idea of getting, obviously, the Octarine Core, but then even a Radiance on Ember Spirit, is that something that we should expect to see, you think?
It's definitely possible. Radiance is very good for a couple of different things. The miss chance is not to be underrated. The overall miss that it gives is still something substantial. It's really good to push out extra waves, and it stops blink daggers. That's probably the most useful thing about it. And so when you have a Sand King, a Puck Blink, and soon to be a Rubik Blink, it's insanely good. All you gotta do is slight somewhere in the team fight, they get hit by a Radiance tick, and then they can't do anything. So very, very good to stop those. We've been seeing some Embers side for the Maelstrom instead. For a very similar idea, it's extra wave clear, it's good damage during slight. It can stop blinks if you bounce a lightning, but it's less reliable than the Radiance, but it comes at half the price.
Yeah. Lesharak's Soul Booster finished. He's going to have a full-on Bloodstone. Seems like a pretty late Bloodstone, but you know what? Better late than never kind of deal, I guess. And
well, and with the way Lesharak has to be positioned in fights, he's probably going to be the first or second one to die if anyone does die. And if he dies, that Bloodstone's going to pop them all back up. So much of DileCom's damage is AoE between the Puck, the Earth Spirit, and the Epicenter from Sand King. So if you do die with the Bloodstone, you heal your team just this filthy amount, and it's going to basically pop them up from every bit of damage that DileCom has.
Yeah. Just in case tools. So again, they push the bottom set of racks down here. I guess not necessarily the set. They got the melee racks, though, at about 22 minutes into this game. So here we are approaching the 27-minute mark. They're grouping. It seems like they could be grouping up again to do yet another round, essentially, round 2. Although Roshan should be up here in the very near future. So maybe that's
probably what they're waiting for.
Yeah, very possible.
There's just no hurry for them at this point. This game could go 80 minutes, and I still don't see how DileCom could win this.
Now, also, kind of previewing the next game a little bit. Again, there's still a game left here, but for the next game, if you're DileCom, this kind of ends the way as it's almost expected at this rate. This doesn't feel like a draft though, where it's like, oh, we need to ban that hero now. It's kind of a reaction ban. It's like it's nothing there. I mean, maybe the Ember Spirit, I guess, but do you really want to do that? So I don't know if they can react to anything necessarily.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. I think one of the biggest things NP did, they did their research on what DileCom does play. Their first two bans being Darkseer and Slardar. A lot of what DileCom's been able to do in these games that they did win was get their offlaner the hero he wants to play. And for literally all of WESG, it was Slardar and Darkseer. 19 total games out of their 27 were on those two heroes.
Okay. I want to be AK like you. I want to be AK. I'm almost there. I broke 3,100 yesterday. I'm proud.
Congratulations.
Moving on up in the world.
You're always in the trench, no matter what your MMR is. When you're 2K, you're in the 2K trench. Then it's the 3K trench. Yeah. It never ends.
It never ends.
Yeah.
All right, well, again, hopefully not much longer here for Mr. Rubik to come back. Apparently, he is actually coming back here, according to Leo Style. He's playing Dota 2, which is a good start.
It really is.
It's the correct game to be playing. Be joining back into the game here. Again, this is match number 1 of a good day ahead of us here. We got 3 best-of-2 series in front of us here. Obviously, game 2, this one, MP versus DileCom. And then that's going to be followed by, I believe it's actually Complexity versus Team Onyx. Yes, it is. And then Infamous versus Team Freedom to close it out for the day. So
I'm excited for the Infamous Freedom game, but I won't even be here to watch it. But those are two of my favorite Dota teams. They both play very impressive styles, and I'm super excited to see Freedom play in a bigger stage, in something where they're going against the NPs, the DCs. They haven't gotten any of that competition since the 7.0 patch, and they haven't lost. I mean, they lost COD Dota League 2 days ago, but before that, they hadn't dropped a best of 3 pretty much all patch.
Yeah, no, I have been casting them a little bit myself, between the Pro Dota Cup and some other events that have been going on. I 100% agree with you. They're kind of the fun team for me to watch in this event, too, to see how they do. But, again, only one spot. Obviously, you have your bigger name teams such as NP and then Digital Chaos, of course. You got Complexity. So there are some big-name teams here in this tournament. And only that one spot up for grabs. But, hey, you know, a team like Frida maybe not necessarily have this high expectation of ultimately winning the whole thing, but just doing very well, playing your game and at least competing with the best of them. So there was a result yesterday. You mentioned Infamous. Doo-Wop actually beat them 2-0 yesterday. I was a little surprised to see that.
Doo-Wop is on fire.
Yeah?
Doo-Wop 3-0'd Freedom on Monday.
Okay. They're the ones that
And they handily beat them in 3 best-of-5 series. So they're looking insanely good right now. And you've got some veterans on that team. You know, players that have played in TIs and very major tournaments on big teams. So they have the knowledge. They just had to find the way to make their team click. And I think they're getting really close to that.
Yeah. Ooh, middle lane. Puck, he's finding some action. He's going to phase shift, do a blink dagger, and he'll be fine. Got a little curious right there. Almost got caught. Yeah, you look at this bottom first tower even still being up for NP. 27 minutes here. Usually means the other team. It's not a good sign for them. So I will say NP, again, NP in the DC matchup yesterday, I'm watching that series. That first game that NP ended up winning, they were actually down by quite a bit too against the very early push of DC. But not to necessarily compare the games because they are kind of different as you're getting at earlier. But
NP has a history of that, though. I mean, I think as you mentioned them being ahead and not being able to close the game out, I think there's been just as many games they've been stuck in their base from 20 minutes and still managed to win.
Yeah.
They're a team that is very, very composed. They don't really seem to tilt, barring, you know, Envy sometimes just running in and getting a little bloodthirsty. But as a whole, their team's very composed. They seem to make good decisions even when they're on the back foot and, you know, kind of look for their ways to win games that maybe they shouldn't.
Ember going to put the Remnant down. Port over with the team. And again, we talked about the Roshan. He's up, so wonder if NP's going to scout that up here. I mean, no vision in that area for either team. But MP may be insisting on they're just going to pop the shrine, get a little bit of mana back, and just go to the bottom lane. Maybe try to get a pick down here, and it could be very possible they're going to somewhat, not necessarily blindly, as MSS with the invis going to jump up, and that should be a dead Juggernaut. Indeed, yep, he'll go down. He does not have a buyback, actually. He just bought his Diffusal Blade.
Yeah, really unfortunate timing on that. That should mean the Roshan or maybe even just tier 3 pressure. Their lanes aren't really in a good spot to do that, though. It's going to take about 40 seconds for that middle creep wave to actually get to the base. So Howie's already on Rosh. Wow.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking, the whole team doesn't even need to be there. It's just Ursa. He just, he'll take care of business. So he's got his Basher now, Abyssal Blade in the works, and an Aegis on top of that.
Radiant's top tower
they're going to catch Puck here. Man, Ember Spear was trying to cut him off, but I guess it's not a whole lot. Okay, maybe there is. He has the Yules, and he stops the TP. He's going to take
He missed the chains, though.
Oh, did he?
He fogged himself on the chains.
Whoa, Puck is dodging, man. Or one way, blink the other way.
No, that was actually a minor Envy mistake. There's a really weird fog line on this tree, and Envy accidentally walked right behind it. So Puck wasn't envisioned for the chains. But, you know, this is the joy of having a Leshrac. He just went and took the shrine by himself.
That's true. Pops that Diabolic Edict, and all of a sudden it's dead. So yeah, he has that Bloodstone now. He's almost level 15 as well. I don't know if there's a talent, a magic resistance, or 400 mana even. That'll be nice. Take advantage of. We'll see what he decides to go for there. Bottom lane. Nope, a lot of Blink Daggers being used, but DileCom will make the escape. And there's that Maelstrom as you were talking about. Picked up by Ember Spirit here.
I think we're going to see this way more often than the Radiance. The Radiance was kind of a... Somebody came up with it as almost a meme build, and then it became a thing. But Maelstrom does a very similar task at half the price. It's a lot easier to pick up and continue on. The big thing with Ember is you want an Octarine by 25.
Yeah. Bottom lane, they finish off the ranged racks and now deciding where they want to go from there. Almost like they want to go through the base in the middle, but gonna perhaps push the lane back up first instead. You figure, though, DileCom really has one more fight left in them, though. If it doesn't go their way, then this game's going to be over. If it does, then maybe there's a chance of that comeback crawl here for Team
Maybe
DileCom.
Puck will buy a Veil with the 4,700 gold he has saved up. Who knows?
That's possible. Oh, Ember.
They are looking for Envy, though.
Solo kill? Yeah, this should be a kill. Oh,
he has a Remnant, too. He's out.
God, that's a powerful item on that hero to get away. And meanwhile, here comes the support now. Like, hey, remember us, bitches? Down goes Sand King. Well, maybe. Okay, Burrow Strike ain't going to be enough, though. He will go down. Phase Shift, not going to save Puck for the time being. Disruption, putting him under. And he will manage to actually escape right there. Or somebody tried to make the escape. The Veil put on him, and then back comes Ember Spirit to secure it. A 2-for-0 there for NP. It all started them trying to gank the Ember.
It wasn't a bad idea from DileCom. They needed to try to get something done, and they kind of took the Hail Mary to go for it. And losing this, they should lose their tier 3, though, and should pretty much close out the game here for NP. But it was close. Ember got away with 46 health.
Yeah, no, that would have been a very, not a very big kill, but it would have been a very solid kill for Team DileCom.
Dire's top
Just
tower
trying to come
I'm
back.
curious as to why NP let it get that close, though. The stuns broke for a while, and he had some time, but he was silenced. You can Yules yourself when you're silenced.
True.
I'm not sure if he was actually baiting it out that close, or if he just kind of forgot he had a Yules for a
Mind
minute.
lapse, yeah. That's possible. The best of them happens to them. And now he's like, all right, Rubik, I pick you. You're dead.
3-shot. Literally 3-shot.
Yes, he did. That was a literal 3-shot indeed. Ursa. Okay, the illusion's almost tearing him down. No, he hasn't aged, so I figured he might as well actually purposely die, yeah. He says, all right, fine. I'm going to go back with full life and full mana. That Diabolic Edict, the pipe is popped by Leshrac. And he's going to push in the racks right here. So Team DileCom just doing everything they can, which isn't a whole lot, frankly, in terms of trying to hold off this push. But in goes Eternal Envy. And now we see Rose trying to follow it up. Splitters connects. Earth Spirit going to survive with the 4 staff away, but the racks falling in the meantime. This should all but do it here in favor of Team NP for game number 1. You do see the Dream Coil used, but Eternal Envy in the background getting another pick
Dire's top barracks
before remediating out real quickly. Puck, yep, he's dead, and let's see those GGs.
Dire's top barracks
Damn, I was hoping they would
DileCom
do
just
it.
wants to enjoy their few more minutes in a real game.
Real game. Middle lane, all right, so there we go.
There it is.
Dire's middle
Enough
So we'll
is-
clean up game 1, NP's favor in 33 minutes. We do have a second game as these are best of 2s.
Yes, yes, we do. So once again, guys, obviously we had those technical issues at the beginning, but looks like we got them figured out, at least on our end. Hopefully the match we get things started here very quickly because we did have a delayed start with this game. So we're going to take a short break ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be right back on Breaky CPK, joined by Z-Rock here. We got Game 2, Team NP versus Team DileCom coming up. We'll be right back.